Welcome back for more arms. Time to take on take on the Grand Prix as, not take on. We're not fighting him. We're fighting as him, the student of stealth, Ninjara. Now, I'm gonna turn down the difficulty a bit here because I'm gonna do something a little different. Hang on, I'm just checking my. I should have done this before I started. Checking my notes. That's the wrong folder. Because I did have a specific difficulty I wanted to do this on. Yes, okay. Just confirming, just making sure. I'm doing motion controls this time. As you are probably aware, as anyone who probably knew when this game first came out, it's based on motion controls. It's pretty much built around motion controls, but the last two rounds I've been playing with regular controls. Ladies and gents, be sure to soften your footsteps because you tuned into Arms Grand Prix. I'm Biff and I'll be your commentator this evening. As always, I'm here to talk all things ARMS. Now you see him, now you don't. Now you only think you see him. Seriously, is that Ninjara? This student of stealth is studying at Ninja College, or is this officially named Rasen Ninjutsu University. So let's see if he's got what it takes to pass this test. Wait, where do you go now? Get ready, the Arms Grand Prix is about to start. So yeah, this game is built around motion controls. For the past two matches, Springman and Ribbon Girl, I'll be using the grip. But I'm going to play now with motion controls to show you that they're actually a really valid way to play. Stealth Attack. It's Ninjara versus the heiress, Ribbon Girl. This arena is absolutely packed with her fans. As official ARMS mascot, I gotta say, I'm a bit jealous. So yep, here you go. You can't do this with regular controls. Also, it's... I didn't realize there's a little icon in the middle that's like, yep, that's thumbs up grip as they call it. So I'm using motion controls right now, and they're actually a really valid way to play. Some people actually prefer playing with motion controls over regular controls. I am not one of those people, because there are pros and cons to each control scheme. The pro to motion controls being it's easier to aim your punches, but the con being it's a little bit harder to control yourself. I'm someone who prefers how easy it is to just control yourself with regular controls. I don't mind sacrificing the curving potential of grabbing. Also, I didn't do it right. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the wider grabs that I'm not used to doing, but yeah, you can do them. See? I mean, I know I'm playing on level 3, but you saw me sucking a Springman on level 3 with regular controls, and here I'm getting a perfect with the Ninjara. Honestly, I don't even like Ninjara that much, but I'm still doing pretty good with him. I can jiggle my chakram there a little bit. Of course, it jiggles more when I'm not trying to jiggle it. Whatever. So yeah, here's the chakrams, one of Ninjara's signature weapons. It's kind of like Springman's boomerang, except its stun element and its rush is different. Because it actually is a multi-hit one, like the gloves. And it also matches Ninjara's outfit. That's kind of something I feel about the arms. Is like, you know, I think the fighters were designed with their particular sets of arms in mind. Dang it. Ninjara is a little tricky with how he blocks, and I'm also not really used to blocking with motion controls. I even set up a button for it, and it's like, yeah, I still forget that the button's there. Because my thumbs are just right over the triggers, and that feels nice. I like thumbs up grip. I just forget that there's two other buttons my thumbs can immediately reach. I'm just messing up all my trains of thought. I've come to realize that's just my commentary style, is just scatter trains of thought. And I remember what I was saying, and then I forgot it again. I'll worry about that later. We're fighting Twintelle again. Match 2, stay steady. It's Ninjara versus the Silver Screen Queen, Twintelle. When you're fighting here, you can see several of her fancy luxury cars. Yep, confirming. Those are hers. Apparently she's got plenty more though, so don't be shy about jumping on them. So generous of her to let us just fight on top of her cars. It's kind of hilarious, but It's also really cool of her to not even be mad that we're fighting around her cars. I remember what I was saying. Like, I tend to keep fighters with their default arms kind of out of aesthetics, because they don't always look good with every arm. Because, you know, they're a lot of varying colors. Let me see if I can get the good grab going. Yeah, something like that. It's about... Yeah, there we go. That was a good one. Good wide grab. Anyway. So yeah, like, Ninjara does look really good with his, because they match his colors. Like, he would look fine with toasters, but, you know, he's all green and blue, and then you give him bright red hands. It does look kind of funky. Another reason I tend to have them stick to their defaults is, you know, because then I have to manually switch them otherwise. It's like, there's no random arms button. You can't set it so that they're different every time. You have to go to a special mode for that, unfortunately. Man, I got another perfect as Ninjara. I don't normally like I said, I don't really like Ninjara. Like, his design is kind of cool because he uses chains, and Gaijin Guma talks about how that's, you know, despite being a noisy thing, is actually kind of accurate to Ninja. It's alright, let's do the buffs. So these are not just funky toasters with a different element. These are actually elementless. Okay, she just gave up on rushing. But what makes them special, dude, is that when you charge, they get bigger. Their hitbox gets bigger. See, they buff up. That's why they call them buffs. I didn't even talk about Ninjara's special abilities. So he can vanish when he does an air dash, which people like because it makes you harder to predict. Because like I was saying with Lollipop, like, characters kind of do end up doing flips and stuff and make their air dashes kind of obvious. And Lolo, like, especially. Ah. But Ninjara goes against that, and his... I mean, he still does a flip, so if you know which direction he's going before he goes there, you can still predict him. Kind of. It's just harder to follow him because he vanishes. See, I'm going from perfect to almost dying now. There we go. And his other ability is that when he guards, instead of taking the hit directly, he dodges out of the way. Which can be a blessing and a curse. Because for a single hit coming in, it can be a good counter move. But if your opponent is rushing, it can be worse than actually guarding, because you do have a moment of vulnerability after you dodge, where you can end up getting caught up in the rush anyway, even though you were ready to avoid it. Here's me gesturing as I talk. It's Hoops again! Against my guy Helix! We haven't seen him yet. It's a little sad that this is the first time he's showing up, but alright. We'll see you later, Helix. We're gonna play as you eventually. Nope, I'm trying to back up. I'm not trying to guard. Yeah, don't let me messing up my guarding make you think that motion controls are unresponsive or anything. Like, I think aren't we past the point where we assume all motion controls are bad? Like, you know, there's people who are advocates for using motion controls as a supplementary process for aiming in shooters. You know, not purely on motion controls, but, you know, assisting your movements with the thumbstick, allowing you for finer movements, almost akin to using a keyboard and mouse. No, you don't do that. And there we go. But like I said, there are people who play this game, I'm sure even on a competitive level, who play with motion controls. I don't like this victory animation of his. He gets way too close to the camera. It's like, she's back up! She's on! Your nose is poking me in the eye! Come on! Match 4, find your focus. It's Ninjara versus the Speed Demon, Kid Cobra. He's as smooth and quick as a snake on the prowl. Snake versus Ninja. What B-movie dreams are made of. Let's hope this is an A+ fight. Good time to do the Tri-Blast, which is just like the Tri-Bolt that Springman has, except it explodes! And you can see there very easily the 2 hits of an explosion arm. But the drawback to them is that if I get hit in the arm, you know, an indirect damage, I can get they'll explode on me basically. Like I was explaining before at the end of Ribbon Girls thing, which wasn't really a time for it, but oh well. Excuse me. So yeah, they're a double-edged sword. There's risk and reward to them. They can catch your opponent off guard with their explosions, but they can also end up backfiring on you. I suppose they're pretty good on someone like Ninjara, who's built around avoiding hits and being well, Ribbon Girl is also built around being unpredictable, so I guess I can't say. Unpredictable is the name of the game. So is not every fighter built around the idea of being unpredictable? But yeah, someone like Ninjara, who's more built around dodging. And I'm not exactly sure what his stats are. They might be... Like, he might have pretty good jump stats. I don't know why I say stats. There's only the one jump stat. Oh, that ice reminds me. I think that is the exception to Ninjara's teleporting ability. So ice, if you get hit with an ice arm, you know, while it's charged, of course, that the elemental effect will limit your movement, which I think includes Ninjara's special guard. So if he gets hit by an ice arm, his guard will just turn into a regular guard. Come on, man, get off that snakeboard. Apparently the act of riding a snakeboard is called snaking. Yep, that confirms it. Ice will turn Ninjara's guard into a regular guard, which honestly I think is a better thing. Not a fan of his guard, which does not avoid grabs, because that's supposed to be how guard works. It's not as good. It's not good against grabs. You know, it's the counter. I was gonna say it's the scissors to the guard's rock. No, the other thing. It's the paper to guard's rock. Get away from the camera, man. Back up. You're too close. Mechanica. Me getting water, because I apparently can't record 3 episodes in a row. Halfway there. It's Ninjara versus the Scrapyard Scrapper, Mechanica. Their signature arm is the Whammer, a tool originally used for demolition. Can quickness and stealth overcome heavy-duty mechanical brawn? We're about to find out. Really? Her signature weapon is the Whammer. I would have thought it's the revolver. Alright, so with her heavy armor, I think I'm going to go 2 explosives here to get through that super armor. Not heavy armor. This isn't Skyrim where you're picking between light armor and heavy armor. Or no armor at all. If you're a mage, you gotta get that bonus to your alteration, whatever it was. Or magic of regeneration. I think it's a perk in the alteration tree that gives you extra regeneration for not wearing armor or something. Or extra bonus points to your defensive spells or something. I don't remember exactly what it does, I just know it's encourages you to wear clothes rather than armor. Because, you know, you gotta have something in there that prevents you from wearing heavy armor as a mage. Well, not prevents you, but encourages you. Anyway, this isn't about Skyrim. I haven't been playing Skyrim lately. I've been thinking about getting Skyrim VR, but, you know, I have money. I think it'd be a cool thing to get for Christmas. I'm recording this in December, if you couldn't tell. Not about to make this like that Jak and Daxter Let's Play I recorded where I started talking about what I want for Christmas that year. So stupid! I don't know if I'm gonna keep that. I don't know if I'm gonna edit that, put it up. I would like to. I'd like to not have to re-record that whole game again. You know, maybe one embarrassing episode is acceptable if the rest of it is decent. But that's the problem, is figuring out, is it decent? Come on, missile to the face. Yeah, I found while practicing motion controls for this that the aiming is actually really intuitive. The curving, aiming your punches and stuff. Like, even without... Like, I was playing for, like, only a few rounds, and I started to get actually really decent at curving my punches and get them to go exactly where I wanted them to go. So, you know, there's some extra encouragement for whether or not you want to use motion controls. Some, you know, bonus points too. Motion controls are good. Another pro to the list, I guess, is what I'm trying to say there. Let's switch it up and play some skill shots. I guess I'll stick with the tri-bolts, or tri-blasts. And you can actually see that there's a little logo there. Excuse me, much like Splatoon, there are in-universe brands here. And I believe each fighter, most fighters have different brands. But the sad thing is that there's not a lot of confirmed brands. Not every brand in the game has been given an official name. Like, I know there's Billy, which is Springman and Ribbon Girls brands for the most part, except for Springman's shorts, which are, I want to say, Achom or something like that. And then, like, you got Twin Tails brand Overrun. I think it was Overrun. I know I keep calling it the wrong thing every time I want to refer to it. It's like, no, it's not Overrun, it's Outrun, or it's not Outrun, it's Overrun, or something like that. I forget what Ninjara's brand is. I want to say it's Achom, but maybe that's Master Mummy. And here's the great one. Kid Cobra's is Snex. S-N-E-X. And I did create headcanon names for the ones that don't have official names. I can't remember what they were. I should have read that and refreshed my memory. It's the Spirit Fighter Masango! Watch out, all of his favorite arms pack a little something extra. Poison! Sure, it stings, but that's just if you let it touch you. I bet Ninjara's evasive techniques will come in handy. Today. I missed a word. My headcanon for the poison is actually that it's not poison, it's just a tranquilizer. So it just makes you sleepy. It doesn't actually harm you. Yeah, I think there was one brand that I called like Grizz or Grizzly or something like that because its icon is a bear. And then I think for the most part I kind of just looked at their like the text for their logos, which is a made up in-universe language, and I just kind of try to read what it looked like it said in English. Like the I want to say it's the brand that makes the glove type arms. I called Smith, and that's just because it looks like it says Smith. And also kind of playing off of the existing brand, Billy. So it's like, okay, well, if you can have a brand named Billy, why not Smith, Thomas, or Franklin? Franklin. Aha! You can't grab me! I am Ninjara! I am the one who grabs! Ninjara is kind of notorious for being a grab spammer. For not only the NPC, who I find does grab a frustrating amount of times, and I'm not always ready to counter it, but a lot of, I would say maybe more beginners, because professional players know how to deal with such a thing. They would tend to jump, dodge, and grab. Basically exactly like that, just jump, dodge, grab, and they spam that. Like that. And it can work, but if your opponent catches, if they're a more sharp opponent, they'll catch on to that and start predicting your grabs and knocking them down. But I, for one, have definitely been susceptible to that technique, which I find very frustrating for myself, not for the people who use them, because that's just how my brain works. Even when I know I can predict, even when I can predict what my opponent's going to do, I'm not always able to tell my hands, hey, don't do that yet, don't punch, they're gonna do the thing, you want to be ready for it. And then my hands don't listen, and then they do bad. As a dog lover, Bite and Bark's loyalty brings a tear to my eye. Not that I'm running against Ninjara, I just really love teamwork. suppose I will go Triblast. Get out of here. I think Bite and Bark actually have the same logo on them as the brand I would call Grizzly, or Grizz, or whatever it was, who make all the animal-themed arms, like Min Min's dragons and like the bird-type ones, bird-type curving arms. So my headcanon is that that brand makes robots, which I think is a fair assumption if their logo is on Bite. Ow. See, there's my explosion getting me. Getting myself with my own explosion from clipping my arm. Ow. Almost got Bite, or Bark. The names are too close, I always mix them up. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. There we go. What do I want to do? What do I want to use next? Do I want to just stick with the same thing? Well, I want to get water. That's what I want to do. I'm running out of water. How about we go Sock'em Boppers? More fun than a pillow fight. Ow. Oh, you may be able to notice in the background here, there's more than one Bite. There's a bunch of different model, same model of robot as Bite roaming around. Well, not roaming, they're standing in position, they're guarding. See if maybe I can get a good screenshot and throw it up and enlarge it. Ah, dying. Oh, here's a thing I didn't talk about before. It's tracking. Because I did mention that the Slapamanders have good tracking. I never really explained what that is. So tracking... Oh, we're about to win. Not quite yet. Tracking is, well, pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the homing ability of your arm to naturally curve itself towards your opponent. So some arms have better tracking than other arms, whereas ones with worse tracking rely on you to curve the arm yourself towards your opponent. So they're harder to hit with, but actually I don't know if there really is a... There's probably an upside to it. I think they're probably faster. They probably extend and retract faster. So Bouncer, Springman. Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. Oh, it's Springman. His arms are springs. His hair is a spring. He's even springing his step or something like that. I'm copying, right? His hairstyle too, which is in this case just Spring Fever. How about I just mirror Springman and do... It's funny because this one's kind of the same color as his Tribolt, and then this is, well, not quite the same red as the Toaster, but it's like they're opposite colors. I gotta do at least one round like this. This is fun. I find it fun. Gonna try to keep my distance from him. Just to be safe, you know? I think that kind of is more of Ninjara's thing. It's distance than close quarters. I think close quarters is really meant more for characters with heavy armor, or super armor. Again, not talking about Skyrim. Even though I've been thinking about what Skyrim VR would be like, how cool that would be to have. Because I do have Blade and Sorcery, which is, you know, it's kind of building to be a first-person RPG, but it's not quite there yet. Whereas Skyrim, that's an RPG, but retooled to be first-person, or VR. It was always first-person. VR. So I wonder just how fun the RPG elements become when you play it in VR. Oh, he's going 2 gloves. I'll go 2 gloves. Yeah, you can see the curving on these. I mean, I guess it's hard to tell from looking at it, because how do you know that's not just me curving it towards it? But yeah, the tracking on these are good. Ah, see? I don't trust Ninjara's Ninjara's guard. Ow. I got you now. You notice the little yellow particle effects that come off when you finish a rush. Looks really good. Oh, not this victory animation again. Get away from the screen. Sorry, I'm scratching my head. I don't know if you can hear that. I could see it making noise on the soundbar. That's why I feel the need to apologize. Grand Prix, Grand Finale is final here. There's a crowd of fans are fired up. It's Ninjara versus the Kamish Max Brass. His arms are made of belts. He was born to be a champion. Perhaps it's time to take the Arms Championship belt to school, though. As in Ninja College. Come on, Ninjara, teach him a lesson. So the thing about arms, you know, their arms, the things, you know, that make them able to do this thing, is that if you probably noticed that they're different objects for different people. Springmans are springs, Ribbon Girls are ribbons. And there's some common misconceptions about that, actually. Like, at least when the game was coming out, people would think, oh, what do people do? They just amputate their arms and then they get the special arms put on. No, it's a superpower. Some people they just wake up with the arms ability. And their arms are different depending on... I mean, I don't think there is a canon to, like, why their arms become something, but there are in-universe theories that they're... Subarami got me. That they're either... They either become something that's nearby when they get the arms ability, or something that they really care about. So for Springman, I would think his are probably springs, because he was sleeping on a spring mattress. And then Ninjara's could be chains, because Ninja really care about the versatility of chains. Ribbon Girls are definitely ribbons, because she really likes ribbons. There's no doubt about that. You look at this piece of art, and you tell me that there's any doubt that she loves ribbons. And people also think that maybe their hair are wigs. But again, look at this piece of Ribbon Girl art and tell me that's a wig. Like, I could believe if it was always in a constant ponytail, but she can pull her hair down, and there's more ribbons. Like, clearly her hair actually is made of ribbons now. But not her eyebrows. I'm pretty sure her eyebrows are real hair. Now, I think the idea that they're wigs also kind of comes from the ARMS comic that was gonna happen and then got canceled, but we still got a pre-comic book day preview of it, where I think it was canon in that Springman's hair is a wig, and that he's not actually the first Springman, he's actually like a successor to the last Springman, and there's been like several Springmans. I picked a bad time to talk about that because that's the end of this. Oops. But yeah, just know for now that their arms become something that's close nearby or something they deeply care about. And their hair is their actual hair, in cases like Ribbon Girl and Min Min with noodle hair. Don't think too hard about the logistics of having hair like that, I suppose. And your new grand champion, the student of stealth, Ninjara. That title belt makes a nice graduation gift. Congratulations. And I'm gonna try to thank you. Also, I do want to go to the gallery to disprove another thing that people think, when they haven't played the game, they tend to think that their arms are always like that. They're always curly like that. Well, I can easily disprove that with another piece of Ribbon Girl art. No, I'll do Min Min this time. Take a look at that. There's no better reward for a fight well fought than a delicious bowl of piping hot ramen. No, ignore the ramen. Look at her ramen arm. Her ramen arm. It's normal. Quote unquote normal. It's still noodles, but it's shaped like a normal arm. It's proportionate now. I think that's a pretty common misconception as well, is that they can't have normal arms, but yeah, they can. Also, I suppose while I'm talking about it, their masks regulate their arms ability. I think there's a piece of art in here that talks about quote-unquote art. Some of this kind of is just stuff that they shared on Twitter that for a lot of them didn't come to the English version of the ARMS Twitter, which is frustrating, but they did eventually put it in this game. There's materials we have relating to the ARMS ability date from 1,500 years ago. However, some experts believe that it has existed for at least 4,000 years. The hallmark of the coiling like a spring phenomenon can be found not just in people, but in animals and plant life as well. The number of people with the ARMS ability is rapidly increasing. Currently, 20% of the population is affected. Considering that some of those affected may not yet have reported to the ARMS League, it may be even higher than that. Though once deemed an oddity, in this day and age the ability is considered a gift, and those with it are strongly admired. The arms of those that have transformed into here it is. Something deeply connected to the individual, or something that was nearby at the time of their awakening. Or at least that's a current theory. However, there are some known examples of cases that do not follow this pattern. Investigation is currently shadowing one of the outliers. Report to follow. Here's the one I was looking for. As previously stated, the ARMS ability is nothing new, but ARMS as a sport only dates back about 120 years. One particular attribute of the ability's nature has previously prevented competition, but that all changed thanks to the special masks invented by the ARMS Ministry, what we call ARMS Labs today. Man, excuse me, I really gotta stop soon. I can't. I wanted to do a 4th episode, but I can't. The ARMS ability often emerges overnight, with those affected discovering their transformation upon waking up. I can see, like that kind of... I was gonna say Shinto. No, that's a religion. That's not an art style. But yeah, that art there. That guy. Waking up with funny arms. Awakenings are most common during the teenage years, though in some individuals the ability has lain dormant for as many as 72 years. Sorry, longer than that. Slightly longer than that. 74 years. I can read. Some are even born with the ability, though this is extremely rare. Where's the one talking about? Okay, let's talk about Kid Cobra. I can summarize that as just Kid Cobra was born with the ARMS ability, which is cool. Lucky him. Here, for sure this time, this one, the one I've been trying to find. The issues of arms unraveling and changing shape without regard to their subject's will was solved by the invention of special masks, which allowed for sparring via extendable arms. As a result, formalized competitions quickly gained momentum. In the present day, these masks are provided to those with ARMS ability free of charge, manufactured by ARMS Labs and distributed by the ARMS League. So I can see how it was once considered something of a curse to have the ARMS ability, but then the masks get invented and oh man, now I got stretchy arms that I can stretch whenever I want. Which also means that the fighters have to always wear their masks. I was gonna have to blank that screen out to hide the spoilers. Oh wait, I gotta show Ninjara's victory screen because we played on level 3. Here we go. What a magnificent display of ninjutsu. You know, I've been thinking about enrolling in Ninja College. These are all the descriptions are by Biff, by the way, so that's Biff saying that. Here's the full screen of that. But yeah, even in their daily life, they gotta wear those masks, which I can also see as this one, as their mommy buying bandages in bulk. Yeah, even in their daily life, like just chilling out at home, they gotta wear the masks or else their arms are uncontrollable. Nice picture of Sporting Man just using it to change the television. And there's actually one in here I think is pretty cool, wherever it's at. Oh wait, it's more over this way, I think. The arms fighters are kind of something like superheroes. Like, they don't go out and fight crime, but if they can help it, they can prevent danger. A true ninja takes every opportunity to protect those in harm's way, even if they're unaware. He's rushing to save one of his fans from a falling pot. I was gonna say vase. That's not quite right. And I'm sure even if that weren't his fan, if it were the girl up there on the balcony instead, he'd still be rushing in to save her. There's a similar one with Springman. There it is. Springman can be kind of a goof, but when a serious situation arises, he doesn't mess around. Saving someone from almost getting hit by a car. I just think that's really neat. That's it for this episode. I really gotta stop now. Let's see you in the next one. Bye.